In the control tower at the start line, a dual-lane electronic timing system clocks each car's run through the quarter mile to the thousandth of a second. Once the light beam at the finish line is broken, the race is over. Every run is measured in elapsed time of ET in miles per hour, and the driver who can react in the shortest time from start to finish is the winner. It takes an extensive communications network to qualify and run off 1,500 machines, and NHRA officials keep the show moving at the Nationals with more than 11,000 timed runs made during the 5-day period of the races. The big fuel dragsters and funny cars burn nitromethane and alcohol, volatile mixtures that literally blast the high horsepower engines down the strip in a maze of smoke and sizzling rubber. Rear tires for drag racing are called slicks. They're designed to give maximum controlled bite. Racers want to lay as much rubber on the asphalt as possible to get the jump, or hole shot as it's called, on their opponents. Tires carry low air pressure to increase bite, and they wrinkle under the sudden stress of the power and torque applied at the standing start. With cars of every description, it's no wonder the Nationals is called the greatest car show in the world. It's said that all the competing cars and equipment at the Nationals are valued at over $10.5 million. With almost 1,500 entries, there are 12,000 pistons reacting to about 24,000 valves. With the kind of stress and strain that the moving parts of a drag race engine endure, it's no wonder the owners are choosy about everything that goes into their high horsepower machinery. Lubricants especially get the acid test, and they must hold up when the going gets hot. The last thing to go on a drag race car is the name. And aside from mechanical ingenuity, this is where the drag racer's imagination really takes over. Drag racing is a family sport in every sense of the word, and women drivers, too, have taken their share of trophies and cash. Among the top money winners is pretty Shirley Shahan of Tulare, California, a housewife and mother of 3 children who drives a lightning-fast super stock Dodge.
I like the challenge of racing. I like beating the men, and I like the people that race. And I like going to the races and traveling all over. It takes a lot of concentration in drag racing. You've got to have keen reflexes. The race is won or lost on the starting line. He who snoozes loses.
Almost every profession is represented at the Nationals. Hollywood actors and entertainers like TV Tommy Ivo of Burbank, California, who had a heartbreaking but exciting experience with his qualifying run. He made the run successfully with a 6.99 ET, but just after going through the lights, the clutch came apart and Ivo slid. The car was cut in half, a miraculous escape for Ivo. Also from the Hollywood scene is Dick Smothers. A graduate engineer, Pete Robinson of Atlanta, Georgia, qualified with a 7.04 ET and is on the bubble. All Pete can do is hold his breath and hope that no one will beat his time. Probably the most famous of all drag racers is Don Garlits, who took the Top Fuel Eliminator in 1967. Other top contestants who are vying for an eliminator shot are Canadians Scott Wilson from Ontario, Canada, who pilots a AA fuel dragster. Canada's leading female driver is Linda Pleva, who drives a Ford stock automatic. And Billy Kidd, who pilots an altered roadster called Will's Fargo. In round one, it's the AA fuel dragsters with Leroy Goldstein, second highest qualifier, taking on Canadian Scott Wilson. Don Prudhomme, with his Ford-powered dragster, takes on Dwight Salisbury of Newport Beach, California, in a Chrysler. They come out snorting, ready to jump on the start. It's Salisbury on top with an ET of 7.01. That's all for Prudhomme in this race. Don Garlits, Big Daddy with his Dodge-powered rail, takes a shot at Duke Ray of Chicago, Illinois, and Garlits wins the round with a 7.37, 218.9 miles an hour. The next run is a California contest. Steve Carboni driving the Kreitz and Greer entry against Bob Downey of Alhambra, California. The California drivers have been eliminating each other in these first runoffs. Carboni comes out ahead with the lowest ET of the day, 6.84 and a sizzling 226 miles an hour. Tom the Mongoose McEwen of Long Beach, California draws Sam Hagen of Levittown, New York, opposite sides of the USA, running a few feet apart. McEwen wins with an ET of 6.98 and 214.28 miles an hour.